I am going to be giving you a little bit of back and forth on this and just follow along if you want to. If you don't, then don't watch the video. I'm just joking. Please watch. Please watch. Okay, so we're going to talk about today's games and we're going to talk about these pictures just so I can give you guys a little feedback on these pictures. Okay, let's just look at the picture for a second. The 2019 playoffs. 25 hits for Altuve, 4 hits for Bellinger. Okay, this is not 2017. Okay, and another thing is my video, the greatest at bat of all time that people keep talking about, there was a man on second. That was George Springer on second base. So you can't steal signs on that. So stop talking about that. Anyway, let's move forward. So this right here, this picture is very self-evident of what's going on with these two players. And just for facts today, now this is where it gets a little bit of ADD. Today, about today's games, Altuve has got a single, a double, and a home run. He's a triple away from the cycle. He won't get another at bat unless they tie it up, so there's no chance of that. And it kind of reminds me, being a triple away, when Altuve was in Cleveland and he needed a triple for the cycle. And he's rounding second base and he's going to get the triple. And he literally trips on second base and George Springer starts laughing. I don't know. There was something really funny about that for me, the way George Springer reacted. Of course, for me, it wasn't funny because I wanted to see Altuve hit for the cycle, which he would have if he didn't just fall down. He got the hit, so he ended up with 2 doubles, a single, and a home run that day against Cleveland. Anyway, let's move to the next picture. John McGraw right there. Very, very cool picture. The reason that I wanted to put this is I wanted you guys to see the fact that John McGraw, the pinstripes, the NY, I believe this picture is 1908, and the NY and even the font, the Mets didn't steal it from the Yankees. It wasn't the Yankees. The Yankees did not invent pinstripes. I'm sorry. The Yankees did not invent that NY font. And the Yankees did not invent that kind of like, I actually don't know the name of that new Mets font. You know, it's been around. It's been around. And the one cool thing is, you know, I really like watching these old, I kind of just notice things like number one, he's wearing a belt buckle. And besides the colors and the old Cubs logo, the blue top to bottom, that's kind of unusual too nowadays. They don't do like blue top to bottom. But another thing I noticed is they're not wearing batting helmets. So I just like looking at these old pictures and, you know, I'm just kind of wondering if that's in the Polo Grounds when you look at the background. And for me, these pictures are just fascinating. There's a lot to be gathered about them. Okay, there's Ty Cobb at bat once again. No batting helmet. Okay, here's ADD moment number 2. Let's just go back to today's games. One thing I found interesting is at Kauffman Stadium, the Royals were winning 11-0, and then Jorge Soler hits another home run to beat, and now the Royals are beating the Cubs, who are doing really well. The Royals are beating the Cubs 12-0. That's another thing I found interesting today. And another thing I found interesting today is the Phillies beat the Yankees. Yeah. Yes. So every time the Yankees lose is a good day for me. Okay, let's go. So I found a few of the games interesting today. Also, Aaron Judge's home run streak was over yesterday. Not today, but yesterday. Okay, here's another cool look at the font, the pinstripes. All of these things, even the piping around the neck and down the button line, the piping, it's not new, okay? This is all like, it's all been there. Okay, cool look at Lou Gehrig. The only thing that I gather about this one, you know, that's different than today's is the fact if you look at his sleeves, it doesn't look like it's hemmed right. It's you can actually see threads, and then also his glove looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit flimsier. Anyway, let me zoom in on that so you can see what I'm talking about right there. See how it's not hemmed up? I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool to notice these things. Okay, Bob Feller. Bob Feller. Look at that windup. Obviously, there's not a guy on base with that big windup right there. He's been radared at 98.6 miles per hour. There's reports of him. Of course, you can vary. I would say Bob Feller in 1936 was probably throwing 100, 101, 102. There's a report that he threw 104, but I think the legend is a little bit bigger than the reality. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was throwing 101 and 102. My theory is, let's say in 1921, you're the New York Giants playing the New York Yankees in the Polo Grounds. Or is it 22 when the Polo Grounds? Anyway, let's say 21, 22, whatever. And you're a pitcher and you're going up against Babe Ruth. Do you think you're going to throw that ball soft at Babe Ruth? Believe me, back then they were throwing hard. Even 10 and 20 years before, the whole dead ball era doesn't get enough credit for how hard that ball was to just shellac and put over the fence. So okay, I'm watching Correa. I'm watching the game. Here's another ADD moment. Ooh, and Correa gets the infield single. That's probably going to be an error. Anyway, I just like kind of sharing these thoughts with you guys. This is just almost feels like a conversation, except it's not. Next picture. Greg Maddux, the placement king. His control, he's a finesser. His control was amazing. He's probably the best pitcher that I've seen in the last, let's say, 25 years, besides maybe Randy Johnson. I don't know. I think maybe it's really hard to say. Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, and in my lifetime, Nolan Ryan, Mike Scott. Anyway, next picture. Ted Williams, the man. Ted Williams. I believe he has the record for the highest current OPS. So that means he can hit for average and for power. So he basically does it all. And let's see if we can notice anything around. Yeah, you know what? Not wearing a batting helmet, same size bat, and no elbow guard, wearing an undershirt. I just notice that. Altuve, like I said, this is just a conversation. Altuve doesn't wear an undershirt. He wears an arm sleeve. So if you're gonna, okay, this is bringing it back to something that nobody believes, but if you're gonna wear a buzzer, wouldn't you want to secure it by wearing an undershirt? You're not gonna just use bubble gum and shoelaces to just jerry rig it together. So there's no way. And speaking of, there's no way. I'm sorry. Let me ADD moment. Just joking. So there's no way that you're gonna put a buzzer on your chest and just kind of bubble gum and just shoelace it together without securing it with a tight compression undershirt. So I never really understood the logic in all of that. You know what I mean? And after he seemed so relaxed, he just didn't want them to rip off his shirt. And right after that, he goes into relaxed mode once again. He just is relaxed. He's cheering with everyone. He just didn't want to change his shirt. And I love how the media brainwashes people in some of the most odd ways. I mean, I don't know what percentage, but there are some people that let the media brainwash them so bad. It's kind of interesting. The only things that matter in life are your health, happiness, your family's happiness, and God. Okay? Health, happiness, God. So just treat everybody kindly. Don't go into these, like I said, this is kind of a longer video. Don't go into these cliches. My least favorite saying of all time is, I don't respect. When people say, I don't respect the Astros for what they did. Saying, I don't respect is so overused and cliche. It must be soul sapping and just draining to not respect groups of people or things, or it's just a lot of heavy negative energy. Anyway, my recommendation, you don't have to listen to me, but my recommendation is just let that saying go, I don't respect, and just basically, go into this area that's more like, how do you say, efficient or useful for your soul. Um, Am I a hypocrite? Have contradiction? Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I don't. I respect the Yankees. I just don't like them. You know what I mean? So, even though the Yankees try to get an edge, well, we won't even use the word cheat. Try to get an edge in so many ways. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with getting an edge. You know what I mean? So, like, when you see the kind of nuanced big picture of what's going on in baseball with, steroids, biogenesis scandal, sign stealing, game fixing, uh, you know, it kind of like, how do you say that? What was that called? Code breaker. Things going on top to bottom in baseball. Everybody's trying to get an edge. So I don't mind people trying to get edge. I don't mind that there's no what do they call it in other leagues where they have salary cap. I don't mind that there's no salary cap. I don't mind people trying to buy championships. I let all that go because at the end of the day you have to develop these players, and there's certain teams that like the Bucks or the Orioles. When the Orioles let go of Zach Britton, when the Bucks let go of Garrett Cole, that they just basically develop these players, and once they can get other players in a trade or get some cash for that player, then that's their business model. So you have to, when you watch the way these teams run as a business model, and they're making incredibly dumb trades. Like, okay, I didn't actually know much about this trade, but supposedly the Houston Texans traded, okay, I think I know his name, DeAndre Hopkins to another team. That's a sign of the dysfunctional organization of their business model. And so, in that, I think there was actually, I don't know this situation very well and I shouldn't talk, but I'll just give you an opinion, a viewpoint, an opinion, because I actually don't know anything about it. So, my opinion on it, that is the coach and that player had a disagreement. And so it was kind of a feud. Anyway, let's look at the new picture, the next picture here. Altuve with that Victus bat, Franklin batting gloves. There's his Evo Shield elbow guard, and there's his right arm compression sleeve, no undershirt, and that's just the way he rolls. And if you want to know, he uses New Balance shoes, by the way. Hannes Wagner. Have you seen a baseball player these days built like that? This guy is, man. He might be. He was more of a shortstop, but he's a utility man. But he might be the best shortstop of all time. I'd have to think about it more. Altuve and Gurriel. I think that. I think that's when Gurriel hit the home run. Yeah, I'm just wondering why he has a bat in his hand. Maybe he picked it up at the end. But I remember, I think when Gurriel hit that home run, Altuve was the first one to cheer. And as you can see, he wasn't trying to rip off his shirt. New York home and away, 19 runs and 3 runs. 2017 ALCS, any questions? So they talk about home and away disparity. And people search for information, and disparity will happen every now and then, like anomalies. So here's another anomaly. In the 2017 ALCS, New York at home scored 19 runs, but they only scored 3 runs in Houston. That's why they lost. Don't spin it and look at it the other way. This is why they lost. Another good look at Ted Williams once again. I like looking at just everything in here. Let's see what I can notice. Those socks are kind of cool. So did they weight down the practice bat by putting tape on it to make it heavier? Also, no batting helmet. Kind of looking at those shoes. Man, those spikes are strong. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, I wish I could see the bottom of the shoes, but there's Ty Cobb literally spiking somebody at home plate. That's crazy. Definitely players are soft now. All sports are softer now. They get luxury buses, first class tickets. They go home to these fancy hotels, clean clothes, nice equipment, shin guards, elbow guards, batting helmets, Ty Cobb sliding into third base. The bases look different. In fact, that base is ripped. That's kind of interesting. Look at Babe Ruth there. He actually doesn't look that, wow. He has a third bat instead of two. Wow, that's so cool. That's a really nice picture of him. He looks like he's having a nice, happy day there. Okay, there's Gurriel and Judge. We know that moment. That was 2019 ALCS. Okay, this is the clip from the greatest at bat of all time. Look at that body language. Oh my God, that is so funny. You can see bottom of the fifth, 1-1 count. So if you ever go watch my video, you can see that look after two pitches. And as you can see there, a man on second. Once again, 1-1 count. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, somebody just got a base hit. Oh no. Oh no. Arizona is trying to walk it off. That's crazy. Arizona is trying to walk it off. They have the bases loaded with no outs. Anyway, it is what it is. And there's Nolan Ryan. Started pitching in the mid to late 60s in the MLB. I'm not sure what year. I think his rookie year was it 69? I can't remember. I can't really remember. But he was throwing 101 in the 60s. So it kind of proves that they've been pitching fast for a long time. Anyway, that's my video. Hopefully you guys liked it, and take care.